Welcome to a feel for chaos. You're going to use your intuition probably on things you already know because we've lived with it. Chaos is a beautiful underlying order that is part of the chaos and complexity of our world. It's how it works. We're going to do a whirlwind tour. So you're not expected to know everything, but if you want to get the book on the right, it's all in chapter 8, Change and Surprise. There will be 5 areas. It's as if we're putting on new glasses and we will see them differently, as interdependent, as connected, as the way the world actually works. And it's beautiful and real instead of a simple world that we think is all within our control. And sudden, if you just focus on nothing else, do look at sudden, you will recognize it. And a creative aha has a lot to do with it. It's part of life. Sudden. Okay, the butterfly effect can lead to a suddenness. It flaps its wings in Paris. The butterfly is not doing the whole thing. Sensitivity to initial conditions, the whole global weather system is connected. And sometimes it's not good for us. Here, if you can see Florida down at the bottom, this is Superstorm Sandy coming up the United States and to New York City. Very bad storm. This is a happier thing. Surprise, a birthday, sudden birthday party. Here is something that often is not so good, an avalanche, last snowflake, and down the mountain it comes. It is sudden. Life works this way. It is chaos theory and catastrophe theory in this case. However, we may also have something similar that is an avalanche of mind. Boom. We suddenly see everything. How does that work? Everything differently. Our minds work this way. Aha. And it's new. Where does the insight come from? Well, many possibilities, but one is deep within our unconscious mind. And isn't it interesting how it suddenly erupts? Suddenly. Now, the diversity here is the point. We are talking about a new normal, but it's not about a norm where everyone's the same. It is about all the rich and colorful ways we can be. It's the range. That's why we have curves down there at the bottom, as well as someone doing their aha. Okay, emergent. Number 2, emergent by definition is a surprise. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. We think we know everything. No, and we don't know this one at all. We can't see it from where we're sitting. As in, how these birds flock. And they haven't read the book. they don't know, but they know exactly what to do to self-organize. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. The fish know. They're not following a leader, but they know how to circle in some circumstances. And guess what? We know how, say on the right here, to self-organize into work groups that can do a task. And I was in a simulation like this that they videotaped about feeding the inner city. And we did it. We figured out how to do it. We made mistakes. That's part of the creative process. The internet, in many ways, has self-organized and is learning. This is how the world works. Emergence. This is a summary slide. The diversity part here is amazing. Are we ready for it? Are we ready for artificial intelligence? Are we ready to learn about cultures unlike us? Let's hope so. It's amazing. The new normal here is enjoying the flavors, balancing. Okay. Some people, this is about chaos and creativity because it's about nonlinearity and many factors contributing at once. And this is why people who think there's something kind of pathological about creativity don't have the whole picture without nonlinear dynamic systems. Linear isn't always better. People think so, right? You take a little aspirin, you feel better. You take a lot and you can die. With opiates, 100,000 people in the United States died last year of opiate overdoses. They took a little for pain and then they took too much. The cat in the hat is balancing in a non-linear, curvilinear way. It's looking for that sweet spot, you see, right at the top of the curve. And this is where, just using two variables, where we are balancing this opening to that unconscious, to creative insight, with the executive functions, pointing to the frontal lobe here, that help us to use it for adaptive purposes. And our creativity is healthy in part for these reasons, and resilient and adaptive. Okay, wait a minute, don't people get off balance and out of control? Yeah, you can plan that in, but you also know where to stop. The kids may not know where to stop them. All right, balancing. So here we have the diversity of so many possibilities, but the lesson is that we're open to many things. Something being different need not mean it's a problem. And that is part of the new normal and complex systems. Alive, what is that? Right? That's a bigger discussion. But it includes dynamic presence, and it is about the future. Alive moves into the future. So here are some cells. What does it mean to you? These cells are planning to divide. They have a plan here, and it's about the future. Here is a picture of people who are alive. Do we think of ourselves this way, in motion, as a process? Or do we think of ourselves more like a still shot here at the left? It's beautiful. It's a wedding. But are we static in the world? No. Do we see ourselves as moving, dynamic, visionary, and so on, and into the future? That is part of the new normal. All right, so alive, and these are all ahas, presumably. Okay, all right. That the diversity here is immense. Life finds a way. Look at the movie Jurassic Park. but there are so many things we haven't thought of yet, unfortunately, because some of them we may create. But anyway, the new normal is present. It's aware, it's vivid, it's changing. And it moves into the future. Okay, last one, interdependence. Interdependence in many areas. Information, the natural world, fractals. So here we have, let's picture something going viral. How does it get over the whole world? There's some interdependence. There's nothing simple here. It's very complex and very unpredictable what will go viral. Here is our so-called natural world, because it's all our natural world, but this is nature, and it's incredibly healing, and perhaps for reasons that have to do with the complexity of this beautiful setting and the complexity of our brain. Fingerprints of chaos, that's a term that I made up in 1989 for fractals, which have to do with self-similarity at different scales. And much of life is fractal, be it clouds or trees or our arteries and veins, okay? But these are hidden resemblances. These are connections that we may not even see. And if we look at these two pictures, they say, are these trees? They kind of look like trees, and they bridge into the future because they keep growing. But the one on the right is the river Nile. It really is. The one on the left is you. It is neurons from your brain. Okay, other connections within our very complex interdependent world. Why should we think we see them all? But it is how things are. Thanks to Tom Ilkema, who will take a bow here, for all his improv work and for suggesting mirroring exercises. And we have mirror neurons, so we can connect with others. We are wired for this. We actually are. Here's something else that we seem to be wired for, but we are only beginning to understand it. Here are two electrons. They don't look exactly like that we're going to move 5 light years apart, but they were connected originally. And now we're going to flip one, and instantaneously, not in 5 years. The other one flips. They are entangled. They are connected. And we think we understand everything. No way. There is stuff happening here across the cosmos that is connected. Could it be more to our benefit than we think? All these mysterious interdependencies? And something is already there, or it wouldn't have happened. So we can look at a new normal that includes things like Rifkin talking about empathy in civilizations, or David Bohm and the implicate order, which is enfolded, or Thich Nhat Hanh's inner being. But there is much more we can learn here. Thank you.